Hello everyone, my name is Kevin. This is going to be a Gatecrash Swiss draft. This will be the first video I've ever actually done a recording of, so if there's any kind of problems, I apologize about that. But just want to give it a try here. I've done about probably 5 or 6 online drafts of Gatecrash, a couple in real life. I'm by no means an expert at Gatecrash or Magic in general, but what I found so far is Gruul seems pretty underdrafted. I haven't gone in trying to draft Gruul, but the couple drafts I switched in the middle of Pack 1, I ended up being heavily rewarded, and there was another draft that I did not switch where I definitely should have, and my deck would have been a ton better. But we'll see what happens here. Just gonna give it a try. Alright, well, this is a pretty sweet card. I haven't actually had a chance to run the Angelic Skirmisher yet, but you know, it's a 4/4 flyer for 6. This is a fast format, so I don't generally want to be up on the 6 drops, but its ability is just insane. At the beginning of each combat, you choose First Strike, Vigilance, or Lifelink, and that's not just your combat. That's on defense as well. So that's going to be the pick here. But other good cards, I haven't had a chance to really try Voidwalk. It seems pretty situational to me. Fortress Cyclops, he's alright, but he's a 5 mana that is a 3/3, and the fact that he's 6/3 while attacking is great if you can get him through, but the 3 defense or 3 toughness is not where you want to be, really. There's too many things can trade easily, including something like a Slaughterhorn or an Ember Beast, and you're kicking away a lot of mana. Pit Fight is great, Legionnaire is great, Guild Mage is also very good, but we're going to try the Skirmisher. Alright, Scar Goliath, he's okay. He's obviously huge. Again, it's a fast format, so you don't really want to be at 8 mana. Even the Blood Rush of 7 is pretty pricey, but +9/+9 trample is a beating. In fact, you should probably, in most situations, be using the Blood Rush and trying to win with the +9/+9 trample for lethal. But let's see. I don't like the Veteran very much. He's just so slow, and the Double Strike is fine, but you can get rid of him pretty easy. I like the Broker, but again, it's also very slow. Clearly the Uncommon was taken out of this pack. Hard to know exactly what that could be. It could be so many things. I would say right now my choices are between Edict, which is on color, and again it's a 5-drop, which I don't love, but I'm going to take the removal and stay on color here. Alright, well, I do like Orzhov if it's open. Hard to tell, really. Krasis is very good. I don't think it's enough that I want to switch over to Simic at this point. It's pretty tough to make blue-green work with the white, from my experience, and generally I try to stick with 2-color drafts, or 2 colors and splash a 3rd color, but I don't really like to go too crazy, because unless I absolutely have to, I'd prefer to have my mana be shored up. Martial Glory, it's a fine combat trick. The Swine is actually really good in Gruul. Like I was saying, it's 5/4, and then for only 3 mana you can Blood Rush him for +5/+4. It's really strong. But Basilica Screecher is one of the better Orzhov cards. Early drop, extort, it's what we want to be doing. So see if we can get some Orzhov cards flowing. So of course, as I say that, there is no good Orzhov card in this deck. Executioner Swing is okay, in my opinion. It does deal with almost anything, but the problem is, of course, you have to take some sort of damage before it's good, It's kind of like Avenging Arrow and Return to Ravnica. It's okay. Like, I don't mind playing it, but it's not, premium removal by any means. Righteous Charge isn't what I'm trying to do in this deck. I've heard a lot of people talk about in Orzhov, you still want to be pretty aggro, but I don't think Righteous Charge is what I'm going to be doing. Warmind Infantry is fine. I think I'm going to stick with the Executioner swing, though, at this point. Alright, Syndic of Tithes is, again, a nice extort card in what we're trying to do. Hindervine's not good. Very situational. I mean, I guess maybe there's a Simic deck where it would be good, but, it's very limiting. Strictly worse than prevent all combat damage dealt to you or creatures you control. So, it's not great. I do like Ember Beast a lot. And do only have one great black card, and one okay card. But because we're still in white, I'm going to take the Syndic of Tithes here. It's a 2-drop, it's Extort, and it's a 2/2. So I'm not unhappy to play it. Madcap Skills, I don't... This card's very good. I think it's very good. I might overrate this card. Obviously, it leaves you open for 2-for-1s to, some sort of removal. But if you can get this in for 2 mana, even on 1 turn, you're dealing an extra 3 damage, you're wiping 2 creatures, and if you happen to keep a guy alive a couple turns, I mean, this thing will just own the game. But, that being said, and Dutiful Thrall, a lot of people like this a lot for Extort. It's cheap, you can regenerate it, it's fine. I'm going to take the Madcap Skills, because I just think it's that much better. Halberdiers was another possibility there that's really good, but I can splash Madcap Skills and not need it on turn 2, whereas, the Halberdiers at 3/2, and not really trying to play those late game, not really trying to splash a Boros card. I mean, we could still be Boros, really just running a Screecher, and I wouldn't be too torn up about not running Executioner Swing, but let's see. I mean, at this point, there's really no color. I mean, this card is not a good card. I don't like Purge the Profane at all. I'm just going to take the Guildgate in case something in blue comes out, and something in Dimir that we want to splash. At least we have some sort of way to mana fix. I like Verdant Haven a decent amount in Gruul. I mean, it's okay. It helps you if you're going to play Gruul and splash some sort of Boros. But we're not really trying to do that. Again, I don't like Purge the Profane. Active Treason's nice in an aggro deck. I like to run 1, but not in the deck I'm running. So it's between a Gargoyle and a Gutter Skulk, and I'm just going to take the early 2-drop here. Alright, so this is the pack that I took forever to talk about, where I basically just got to Fortress Cyclops. Skylight Legionnaire here is pretty silly. I mean, it is a Swiss draft. A lot of people think this might be one of the best commons in the set, if not the best, one of the best. And there are 2 Simic cards here, or 2 Boros cards here, which could be a sign. I also like Smite a lot, so at this point I am going to take Smite, but it does look like maybe some Boros might be open. Alright, here... I really don't want to play a Horror of the Dim. I don't like this card either. I'm just going to pick up the Shattering Blow in case there's some sort of artifact, although in this set I don't think there really are any artifacts you need to exile. I'm just going to take it anyway because I don't want to play Horror of the Dim, but I'm going to go ahead and hide that. Alright, well here's a whole bunch of white cards. Don't like Hold the Gates. I suppose Riot Gear has places where it'd be situational, like when your creatures are just considerably worse than their creatures as a whole. Shielded Passage, I'm not a big fan of. Aerial Maneuver's fine. I'll go ahead and play one of those. Alright, here's 3 cards, none of which I would play. I'll just cut a Forced Adaptation, I guess, at this point. I have a few removal spells, but Nothing too much. I'm just going to take the Denizen if I end up... Alright, well that's not bad. I don't love the Aristocrat, and not a whole lot of stuff I want to be sacrificing to keep my 2/2 alive at this point, but it, you know, it's a 2/2 for 2, and it has some sort of added value. Okay, so here we go. Grizzly Spectacle is probably going to be my pick here. It's just flat out one of the best removals in the set, really, in my opinion. It's just not conditional. I mean, Devour Flesh is nice. It's fine. You know, they gain some life for sacrificing a creature, but it does the trick. Multi-Primordial, again, it's slow, but it's a 6/4 with haste, which basically threatens. So, you know, it can be good, but at this point, I'm not really trying to... I probably won't run my red. I may splash the Madcap, but I'm not really trying to run a double red creature. And I like the Spy a fair amount, but not more than a Grizzly Spectacle. Edict, again, I already have one. It's fine. It's expensive, but it does do the trick. Debtor's Pulpit, to me, seems pretty slow. I know a lot of people say it's, you know, good in a Orzhov type deck, but to me it's pretty slow. I haven't had an amazing success with it. Horror is very good, but I'm not trying to splash blue for it, so just take that. Alright, Signal the Clans, that's not a card that I want to run, even if I am running Gruul, so no harm there. Here for us, I would say the Confessor is actually not that bad. He doesn't seem that amazing because he's a 5-mana 1/3. He does have an Extort ability, which is nice, and I've just found every time I've played him, paying 3 or 4 life has totally been worth it. I've pulled out some pretty sick cards that would have cost me the game had they hit the board, and the Confessor pulled them before I lost. So that's probably going to be my pick here. Basilica Guards is also pretty good. I mean, it's a 3-mana Extort. Again, Legionnaire, very good. I like Arrows of Justice. Actually, I might even take Arrows of Justice here. It's, again, you know, 4 damage to target attacker or blocker, but I think I'm going to take that, hope that the Confessor wheels, maybe a Guildgate or a Guards, and we'll see what happens, but I am going to take the Arrows of Justice. It's just hard to pass up removal. And there's a Foundry Champion. So now I have a compelling reason to try to splash red. I mean, I'm not going to play the Foundry Street Denizen. I'm not going to run a lot of red cards. This is a white card. So right now I have 1 red card in Madcap Skills. Here's another one. Again, I like the card. I also like Ivy Lane Denizen a lot in green. Again, another Sky Knight Legionnaire. So if I were Hasty Boros, I could have about 4 Sky Knight Legionnaires right now, which, you know, would be good. Although, either way, I would be taking the Foundry Champion. Again, I know I said it's a fast format, and I'm pulling up some 6-drops, but you run a Foundry Champion and an Angelic Skirmisher, and you've got some bombs if you can get them out. So that's going to be my pick. Foundry Champion, he just comes in, he's tough to kill, he's tough to block, and he pretty much always kills someone, kills a creature, or deals a fair amount of damage to a player. So it's just kind of a win-win everywhere. Let's see here. Let me look at my color swords. So, I mean, I'd be okay cutting either of those cards, but, I mean, right now it just looks like I'm going to need to find some fixing in my black, white, red deck. You know, I'm probably just going to play these 2 red cards, so a little fixing will be okay. Illuminate Primordial, I've had this played against me. It's never lost me the game when they played it. I mean, exiling a creature is great, but again, it costs 7. I'm already pretty high up in my curve. I like Smite just better than Executioner Swing. I already have one. I'm gonna need more creatures. I have 6 at the moment, so I mean, Smite is only good if you can block, which means I'm gonna need some creatures. Corpse Blockade's also fine, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the Smite. All right, this pack has some cards for us. The Skyjack is arguably more of a Boros card, but again, read some of the guys on Channel Fireball, and they seem to think that a more aggro Orzhov deck is better than a control deck. And you can see here I have actually quite a few 2-drops. Not really a ton of creatures, like I said. The Prism would be nice in my deck if I am going to try to splash the Foundry Champion and the Madcap skills. The Prism would be nice, but I don't think I want to take it over the Skyjack or the Assault Griffin. I got a ton of 2-drops right now, which you want in this set, and most of them aren't really creatures, but at this point my creatures aren't, I don't have that many, so I'm going to take the Assault Griffin, and see how that goes. Okay, here's a little bit of a tough choice for me. I got a Prism, a Boros Gate, which will help me with my fixing, or an Orzhov Charm, which again is just another removal, and I just don't know that I can pass an Orzhov Charm. It might be the right thing to do. Let's see, Zerichi Charger's fine. If there was nothing else here, I would probably play it, but let's see. I think I am going to take the Orzhov Charm. I think the removal, just destroy target creature, you know, it's not situational. You do take damage, but I'm going to take it anyway. And the hope is we're going to find something in some fixing kind of late that I can take over cards I really want. Sometimes that's a little greedy. If it ends up being super greedy, I can just not play a couple of my red cards, but I do want to get the Foundry Champion in there. He is just too good. I mean, I'm not trying to run a lot of red, so I'm not going to try to run a Scorchwalker, which is only 5/1. The Blood Rush is fine if I was playing a Boros deck, but I'm not trying to get in there with that. The Krasis, you know, I'm just going to take the Nav Squad Commandos, which I don't like. I would not play this by choice, but it is a creature. It does let me turn my smites on. Here's a third smite. And it's paired with the Guild Gate. So, let's see. I mean, for my smites to be good, I'm going to have to definitely pull out some more creatures. Because of this time, 8 creatures is not going to do it. I mean, I do have a pack and a half to go. So, the question is, do I want the fixing or do I want the smite? I do like smite a lot, but I think at this point I am going to take the fixing. I mean, I have 2 smites, I have some other removal, and I really want to be able to play. I mean, I'd be okay not playing Madcap, especially if I don't have a lot of creatures, which I don't at the moment. But I mean, if you do Madcap and then you put it on a Cartel Aristocrat, for example, you can make your Cartel Aristocrat do some serious damage. He's a 5/2, has to be blocked by 2 guys, and then you can sacrifice another creature to give him protection from a color. So he's pretty rough. Here, I'm going to take the Pulpit, just because I'm not going to try to splash either of these red cards. I don't really like Mark for Death anyway, so situational, but... Alright, good. So, here we got 2 cards that came back. I was hoping the Confessor would wheel, and it in fact did, which is a good sign. I mean, someone else could be Orzhov around us, and took one of the other several cards that were in this pack. Disciple of the Old Ways is really good for Gruul, so, I mean, if you're not running these colors, you should be picking this guy. But, I'm going to go ahead and take... I'm going to take the Confessor. I need some creatures right now. I definitely need fixing, which is why this card is pretty good if you're running Gruul Splash White, but we're not doing that. I guess I'll take the Warmind Infantry in case I absolutely have to try to get more creatures in and I find some better fixing, but at the moment, that's not really the plan. I mean, I'm not really impressed by this. Hexproof is fine, can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Like, I mean, I guess that can do some work for you, but I'm not really trying to run that. I guess I'll just take it, just cut it out, but... Excuse me. I'm definitely not going to run 2 of these, but this card also sucks. But I just take it.